guys, welcome to another episode here on my channel, and this one is going to be a pretty special episode. It's going to be about the kite loop and some kite loop combinations. So we'll see. It's also kind of exciting for me because actually I'm used to kite loops and I know how to kite loop, but it's been a while since I've done some kite loop laid back rolls and stuff like that. So I'm also kind of excited and I hope it will work out. At the moment we're here in Großenbrode, which is close to Fehmarn in the north of Germany. We have approximately around 25 knots. I will take the 8 meter Evo. Maybe it's some kind of a special edition, I don't know, I can't tell you yet. But it's gonna be exciting, and I think the 8 meter is a perfect size to start kite loops, go big with kite loops, because it will always catch you, it will always come up. You won't have the trouble like you will have with a 10 meter kite, which might stick in the middle of the loop and not catch you properly. So the 8 meter is definitely a good choice to start with kite loops in combination with maybe 25 knots. Once you're used to loops and once you know how to do them properly, you can start nailing them in heavier condition, means like 40 knots. But the 8 meter is still kind of the size you're looking for, and yeah, let's see, let's check it out. Before we start, just a quick warning. Keep in mind that kite loops, and especially Megaloops, are one of the riskiest maneuvers in kiteboarding. This is mainly because they are always connected to great heights and high speeds, which is a pretty dangerous combination. To keep the risk at a minimum, I strongly recommend to check your stuff before. This includes your harness, your lines, your kite and your board. From my experience, it's also helpful to start with some lower ones first, and then once you're gaining confidence, you can boost a little bit higher. If you're not feeling it 100%, just start easy, maybe with a beach start or just a water start in combination with a kite loop, just to get the feeling for the pull and to get the feeling for the current conditions. Let's start with the most important and the most difficult thing first. It's the key to success, it's the way you edge. Before or while taking off, it is extremely important to get the kite as much as possible to the edge of the wind window. The best way to get the kite in this position is to enter the jump with a lot of speed. And as you can see here in the video, I'm really trying to push myself upwind. As you probably know, for example, if you're walking backwards into the wind, the kite will always come like a little bit more above you, a little bit more to the edge of the wind window. And this is exactly what I'm doing here. I'm trying to ride against the wind, like getting upwind as much as possible, and therefore the kite will come a little bit more over me, which really helps me to enter the loop. First things first, if you're going to the left, keep your kite at 10 o'clock, and then, once you're feeling ready, send your kite from 10 o'clock towards 12 o'clock. While the kite is traveling from 10 to 12 o'clock, try to point with the nose of your board into the wind without losing the edge of the board. This sounds actually pretty easy, but trust me, it isn't. This is the most crucial point on the whole jump. So as you can see in the video, the only way to get this working is to fully sheet out and make your arms as long as possible in order to get the kite to the wind window. Only while doing so, you can get your nose of the board pointing towards the wind and kind of riding against the wind. So in the end, it feels like somebody is pulling you on the back of your harness against the wind. Alright, so the situation is the following. You're having the kite at 12 o'clock right above you. Your board, or the nose of your board, is pointing towards the wind, and you should definitely feel a lot of tension in your lines. So this is exactly the moment you're just fully sheeting in. You're just pulling the bar towards you, and then what should happen next is you're entering the elevator and just going straight up in the air. Actually, it's pretty easy to check if you have done everything so far the right way. What should happen is that you're just shooting up into the sky, like totally vertically, and no more traveling in your primary direction of riding. Instead, you're flying a little bit backwards into the wind. Actually, this kind of jump or this kind of edging has quite a lot in common with the transition jump I've explained in another video, which you find up here. It is really essential that you get this right. Without knowing how to get this done, you won't be able to perform a proper Megaloop. If you keep traveling horizontally and you're not able to change the direction of the momentum towards the wind, it is pretty likely that the kite won't catch you after the loop. And this is exactly the reason why experts prefer to have a kicker for takeoff, because the kicker just helps you to change the direction of the momentum. The next step is actually a lot easier. As soon as you reach the highest point of your jump, just steer the kite as strong as possible against your primary direction of way. This means if you're riding to the left, like me in the video, with your left foot first, then you have to pull the right side of the bar. Means you're doing it like that. Means pulling the right hand and also pushing it with the left hand to make it easier for your right hand to compensate the power of the kite. In terms of looping, there's only one rule. Never ever stop steering the kite until it has fully finished its 360 rotation. Don't even think about it. Once you have initiated the turn, there's absolutely no way of going back. Period. For the first loops, I highly recommend to do the loops with a small radius. If you initiate the loop at your highest point of the jump, the pull of the kite will be much softer compared to a loop which you initiate while you're still climbing up. Once the kite has finished its 360-degree rotation, it's always a good idea to fully sheet out. By doing so, you're actively helping the kite to better catch you. Don't be surprised, the lines will be crossed right now, but it has absolutely no impact on the steering. The moment the kite has finished its 360-degree rotation, it will start traveling all the way back above your head. While the kite is doing so, you're in some kind of a free fall. This means that you're constantly gaining speed, easily up to 80 or 100 kilometers per hour, which is pretty fast on a kiteboard, so it's a good idea to get rid of some speed. One very good option to get rid of the high speed and avoid a very rough landing is to use the kite as some kind of a braking system. Means you just let the kite fly far above you and then gotta catch it again with some kind of down loop. Always land fully downwind and then try to reduce some speed. The kite loop generates quite some pull. But if you start slowly, you really know how to handle it. But be prepared and get some tension on your core muscles. Also try to be very compact during the jump. Alright guys, that's it for now with the basic kite loop or Megaloop, and I promise you, if you follow all the steps I've just showed you, you will be able to perform maybe not a Megaloop, but for sure a kite loop one day. Do you have any questions so far? Just leave me a comment in the comment section and I will get back to you as soon as possible. If you like what I'm doing, please hit the like button, and if you haven't done so, subscribe to my channel. Let's move on with some more advanced kite loops. First, we start with a kite loop laid back roll. Means you're doing a kite loop or a Megaloop, and while being in the air, you're initiating a laid back roll. So you're not initiating the back roll while taking off, you're initiating the back roll while being in the air, and this pretty much looks like this. Keep in mind that this is some pretty advanced stuff, and also keep in mind that once you initiate that laid back roll, you better finish it. The tough thing about this laid back roll is that there's absolutely no chance of trying or maybe doing it like a small version of it. You really have to fully go for it and then just do the laid back roll. And I know it's super sketchy in the beginning, but once you've done it once, you will do it all the time and you will fully enjoy it. But it is definitely something you have to switch off your mind and just go for it. Actually, you have two possibilities. You can either do like a lower loop, but then everything has to be 100% fine because the kite has less time to catch you, and so the steering of the kite has to be 100%. And you can also do your first laid back roll like in a height of 20 meters. Then if it goes wrong, then you have a huge problem. But if you only do minor mistakes and like the steering of the kite, for example, is not 100% and you're having a little bit trouble finishing the laid back roll, you still have time to fix these mistakes. And yeah, I don't know what's the right thing to do, but probably it's somewhere in the middle. Try not to go super big, but on the other hand, try not to go too low, because also a crash from 5 meters can hurt quite a lot when the kite's not properly catching you. My advice is go to a spot where you have proper 25 knots, 8-meter kite, flat water, and then just do the same kite loop over and over again. Same height, same radius, same everything. Just get confidence on that kite loop. And at one point, you're probably feeling it. You're feeling that little point where it's possible to initiate that laid back roll, where you're getting that extra punch to finish the rotation, and just do the loop over and over again. You have to keep in mind that there are some things you should still continue. For example, keep the angle of the bar. So don't stop steering the kite, because if you stop steering the kite will go like straight down on the water and that will end in a huge crash. Just check the internet, there are quite some crashes out there. What I can tell you from my experience is that once you have found that point where you can maybe sneak in a little rotation, it is very important that you're pretty compact before going into that rotation. So you're super compact, and once you're feeling that specific point, you're just like releasing your whole body and your head starts to go into that rotation. And once you started to do the rotation, everything should go pretty quick. Because imagine you're like going into the rotation, and once your head is like that, you're almost able to see the water again. And that is for sure the aim. For you, the most important thing is to gain control. Means where's the kite, where's the water, where are you, how's your current situation, and then try to land that loop somehow. But this is the most difficult part about the whole rotation thing, because it is not about initiating the rotation, it is more about regaining control after the rotation, so you can like easily land that jump. Easily, yeah. Okay, here's another one. As you can see, I'm starting the rotation when the kite is right at its lowest point. Same jump, but now we have a look at the rotation itself. Alright guys, good luck with the laid back roll, and now we move on to the Boogieloop, which is quite a fun move, and good news this time, this one you can definitely start slowly. I would recommend to start with a front side rotation, which you're doing pretty much upside down, so try to keep your board as high as possible, and once you're seeing the water again, just initiate the loop and do the radius as small as possible. As you can see in the video, I initiated the loop maybe a little bit too late, and I wasn't sure what kind of pull to expect, but as you can also see, I got a little bit off axis, but in the end this really doesn't matter, because I was just like 1 or 2 meters high, and so the impact wasn't bad at all. So that's what I recommend for the beginning. Try to initiate the loop a little bit later, make sure you're really finishing the rotation. Once you're getting a feeling for the pull, which is generated by the kite, and you know how to handle it, you can initiate the loop a little bit earlier. You do like half of the rotation, and then you're initiating the loop, and then the pull like finishes the other half of the rotation. This really helps you to get control. Don't spin too much during takeoff. You will get a decent pull, which gets you back in the right direction. Once you're feeling confident, just enter the whole jump with a lot more speed and just try to get as high as possible. The Boogieloop is a super fun move. Alright, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got some good information out of it. I really had a lot of fun doing all the Megaloop stuff, and if you try them, be careful. It's like the serious stuff, but it's definitely also the cool stuff. And if you haven't done so, subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and leave me some feedback or some questions in the comment section. I will get back to you ASAP. See you in the next one.